Hello, welcome to Pub Football. I'm Miles, this is Jimmy, the show where we talk about the Premier League and we have a few beers. If you can see our breath, that's because there is no heating in this room and it is absolutely freezing. So we're going to get through this as quickly as we can. In this episode, looking back over the Premier League weekend. Some upsets definitely this weekend and some results that you would definitely expect Sunday evening. As a result you would definitely expect. Anyway, starting on Saturday at 12:30, Watford holding Spurs 0-0 at Vicarage Road. Diabolical game of football. At 3, Arsenal 1, Sheffield United 1. Sheffield United a little bit lucky to get a point this week. Brighton and Aston Villa, same score, drawing at the Amex 1-1. Manchester City held by Crystal Palace 2-2 at the Etihad. A huge result for Crystal Palace. Norwich 1, Bournemouth 0 in a scrap down the bottom of the table. Southampton going 2 goals up but losing 3-2 at home to Wolves. West Ham drawing with Everton 1-1, battle of the new managers. And at 5:30, Newcastle upsetting Chelsea and Isaac Hayden last minute winner 1-0 at St James's Park. On to Sunday, Burnley beating Leicester 2-1 at Turf Moor early doors before Liverpool went past Man United 2-0 in a fairly routine win for Liverpool. Starting with Watford Spurs, boring game. Tottenham had the majority of the possession. I saw after half an hour, Tottenham had 75% of possession.
That is strong.
The problem is...
Possession means nothing these days, mate.
Yes, and there is absolutely no cutting edge. So whilst having the possession, they didn't look like scoring. It was all across the back line, all across the box, nothing going into the box. And that's why Tottenham are where they are. However, based on this season, a clean sheet for Spurs on the road is decent.
That's a good result. You would have thought with Lo Celso in the side, you would have thought you might have had a bit of cutting edge. But by the sounds of it, you're absolutely terrible. And Watford missed a penalty, didn't they, as well?
Yeah, handball, Troy Deeney. I tell you what, I've realised about Troy Deeney. He takes penalties, but he's not actually the best penalty taker in the world. He goes for power.
Yeah, agreed.
So if you go the right way, it's going to... If he doesn't go down the middle and you go the right way, it's at that height.
It's never going to be in the corner, is it? It's going to be kind of mid to corner, isn't it?
Which is what happened, and Gazzaniga pulled off a good save, but a routine save in regards to penalties.
Yeah, and towards the end, what was it, a couple of millimetres away from Spurs winning the game?
10 mil. First touch in the Premier League for the Leicester winger who cleared it off the line.
Oh, really?
First touch in English football.
Yeah, Pichetto.
Yeah, Pichetto, the new one. Incredible. But all in all, this is the reason why Tottenham aren't going to get top 4.
No, it's another game that I think you mentioned it before, and you thought kind of Spurs might nick a point, and it proved to be that way.
You thought we were going to lose.
I did, yeah. I thought Watford would be on a high at the moment, and to be fair, a draw's not a bad result in any way, shape or form, is it? So,
no, Watford fans are happy, but Watford probably could have won it, and they had the better chances. Again, this is indicative of where Tottenham are right now, that in a 0-0 draw, it's Watford that looked more likely to score throughout the game than Tottenham.
What do you do as Mourinho? I think you've had the new manager bounce where it was quite good for a couple of weeks, and it's been terrible since, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know what you do at the
we
moment.
We need a new squad of players. Yeah, it's a really weird position to be in. We need a massive overhaul. On to 3 o'clock games. Arsenal pegged back by Sheffield United. Sheffield United played well for the first 10 minutes, played well for the last 10 minutes, but the 70 minutes in between didn't play very well. And this is a great indicator of where Sheffield United are this season, that Chris Wilder's come out of a 1-1 draw away at the Emirates not happy because the performance wasn't good enough.
Yeah, agreed. As you say, they had kind of periods of the game where they were very good, and even when they were playing poor, they still created chances. And yeah, as you say, it makes you laugh that people look at the game before and think, oh, it's just Sheffield United, we should be winning this. They deserve way more credit than that. They're a really good Premier League side. And yeah, Arsenal were poor. They were poor.
Saka played with a left back.
Yeah, which is good. As we spoke about yesterday, mate, I don't think he's going to be a full-time left back, but he's doing a fantastic job at the moment. And yeah, I don't know, it's so frustrating. We're like Spurs. Just got to grin and bear it this season and go, it's not where we're going to be in 2-3 years' time, but it's a process. We will get there.
As a Spurs fan, I'm hoping we're not going to be worse in 2 or 3 years' time.
No, of course you won't, but it's a process, and I hate people that want kind of the winning mentality and things to come now. It's not going to happen. It's going to take a while, and you've got to get it piece by piece. Bring in the players that make a difference, like Van Dijk, like Liverpool. Bought players in kind of every summer, brought in a couple of players and just made a difference to the squad, and that's going to be the same way Arsenal and Spurs got to do it. Don't massively overhaul, I get that, but We'll get that.
Give
But
it
we're
time.
nowhere near at the moment. and
Stonewall
it's frustrating.
penalty on Pepe.
100%. It's about the fourth decision this year. We've been absolutely done on by VAR.
I don't understand how VAR's not overturned that. It's getting to the point now where VAR. We should do a special on VAR at some point about how to fix VAR. We should sit here in lab coats and glasses with a blackboard and be like, this is a formula to fix VAR. I know how I would work it. I think you know how you would make it work. But the people who are running it don't know how to make it work. And I don't understand how they are getting it so wrong. Anyway, moving on to Brighton Aston Villa. Did you see Neil Maupay and Endry Konza had a bit of a dust-up on the way off the pitch at the end? Former Brentford teammates. I don't know what it was about. It was a bit weird. It looked like Endry Konza was trying to shake Maupay's hand, and Maupay just lost his rag.
That's because Konza's a terrible footballer. So
Yeah, and they drew 1-1 though.
Yeah, and it's a bit of Grealish magic, wasn't it? Up until that point, I think Brighton were in complete control of the game, which wasn't too surprising. But yeah, they're both in and around it, really, aren't they? And it's a good result for Villa, but I don't think they're going to have enough, are they?
No, it definitely worries me a bit for Brighton though, because they are still only 3 points clear.
They are right in and around it. That would have been a big 3 points, that one.
Yeah.
It's one of them's going to get relegated, aren't they?
I don't think it's out of these two. Oh, but then it could be. That's the thing. It really could be, actually. Yeah. Thinking about it, especially with another team that won, which we'll talk about later on in the show, who have been on a bit of a slide. But
at the MX, you expect Brighton to do the job, and Grealish is going to keep picking up points for his team at the moment.
Oh, Grealish needs to leave.
Yeah.
Grealish really needs to go and play in a good side. Grealish went and played for a good side. He could score 10 goals through the rest of the season. Yeah. Even more, 10, 15.
Straight in that England squad.
Incredible.
He's starting.
He really would. Man City 2, Crystal Palace 2. Palace were leading for 85 minutes of this game. And then Sergio Aguero happened twice.
Yeah, good finishes.
And then we saw why Crystal Palace fans love Zaha so much. Driving to the byline, taking players on, and drilling the ball across. And I do feel sorry for Fernandinho, having played at centre-back quite a bit. When that ball is between your feet like that, and your momentum is meaning you have to throw your left foot at it just to try and get it out. Sometimes it can. It all happens so quickly that if it hits your heel, it's going to be an own goal.
God, I hate Palace so much. I saw the result. And for God's sake, you joking?
This is because you predicted them to go down.
Oh, I thought it would have been the turning point, and when obviously it went to 2-1, you go, oh great, they're going to finally lose. It's been a while. And, fair play to Zaha, absolutely smashed it towards Fernandinho, and it hit and went in. Yeah, they're annoyingly going to get the points, aren't they?
Yeah, of course they are.
Absolutely fine.
They're going to stay mid-table.
Very, very frustrating.
They're going to stay exactly where they are. I know. It's amazing how it's been, 4 days? And
very frustrating for Man City. It's a disappointing result, especially when you go ahead with a couple of minutes to go home. Just get players behind the ball. Just sit out. Annoying.
Not good enough. Not good enough from City. And this is why there is a team who have pretty much already wrapped the Premier League.
Oh God, they're so far ahead. It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. For Palace though, they're going to stay mid-table. They're going to stay mid-table all the way through the year. When they've got players like Gary Cahill playing well, Jordan Ayew is playing well.
Even Cech Tosin scored.
Cech Tosin scored a goal.
And he had a disallowed goal as well, didn't he?
He was playing quite well. Yeah. Everton, a team that have needed a centre forward for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Bit of a weird one.
Yeah.
Bit of a weird one. Norwich 1, Bournemouth 0. This is catastrophe for Bournemouth.
Yeah, they had a man sent off, which always makes life difficult.
What a save by Steve Cook, by the way.
Brilliant, yeah.
Unbelievable. We know
full stretch.
Yeah, we know who's putting the goalkeeper shirt on if Aaron Ramsdale ever gets sent off.
No wonder Travers isn't playing, crikey. It's not great. It's really not great.
Wilson's not scoring. He'll drop out of the England squad.
What was they saying? He hasn't scored a Premier League goal for about 4 months.
I think he had his first shot on target since October.
I thought he scored against Luton in the Cup.
Yeah, no, in Premier League.
Yeah.
First shot on target in the Premier League since October in the game against Norwich.
I feel like Solanke's presence is probably weighing him down at the moment.
Just sucking the life out of the rest of the Bournemouth players.
I think the entire squad is just bereft of confidence. You can't imagine them winning a game anytime soon. They're just really poor.
They're really bad. We're going to go more into detail on Bournemouth actually in this week's Pub Football Special, which should be out the day after this goes up. So it should be, we're going to film it tomorrow. It should be out on Wednesday. So keep an eye out for that because we do want to get that up. So all about the woes at Bournemouth and maybe some things that they could do to fix it because Eddie Howe's in massive trouble. Let's move on to Norwich. It won't be enough, but they're only 6 points adrift.
Oh, and yeah, you look at probably the last 5, 6, 7, 8 results. They probably, to be fair to them, should have had about 6 or 7 more points. They would have been right in it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm pleased they finally won a game because they do deserve it. But
I know they would have
too little, too late, isn't it?
They would have scored if the penalty hadn't been given. Well, if Steve Cook hadn't handballed it, but still a worry that they're only scoring goals from the spot.
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? Because I do like Norwich, but it's just too little, too late.
Yeah,
They'll always be sort of 4 or 5 points off of it, and that'll be it. To be honest,
we'll see them go down.
Yeah.
And I think they'll be relegated sometime in April.
Yeah, I was going to say mid to late April. Done.
Absolutely. See you
Sorry.
later. Bournemouth could be relegated before them.
Do you think Bournemouth will finish below Norwich?
Wow. I don't necessarily, but the way it's going at the moment, I see Norwich winning more games.
Yeah, at the moment, you'd think who's going to win the next game out of the both of them? It's definitely going to be Norwich.
Exactly.
100%.
So they'll get even closer. Southampton. We're going into a tricky period for Southampton. They've been riding a wave of incredible results, of positivity. Danny Ings scoring for fun. They go 2-0 up in the first half against Wolves, and then lose 3-2 at home at St Mary's. This is the type of game where they're going to need a response in the next one, because when you have a defeat, especially like this, when you should be winning from 2-0, it can take all of that confidence that's been gained and completely dump it.
Yeah, this could be the turning point of their season, this game.
Again.
In a really bad way.
Yeah.
As you say, absolutely flying. I'm shocked to see Shane Long score a goal. I thought he was done. But even Bednarek took his goal beautifully.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow. And those are the games. Just hold it. Just get the result. Get the 3 points. You're flying then. And now they are they're slap bang in it again.
No, I think it's still 7 points.
Doesn't take a lot, mate.
It doesn't take a lot, but they should be fine. It is just now they need to think back to the games before and carry on that momentum.
Yeah, to lose from 2 up is a massive, massive kick in the
in the willy. Kick in the willy.
Kick in the willy. Even if it's a point, you go, do you know what, we'll take it. It's a point, but to lose it. And fair play to Wolves, they're brilliant second half, they're miles better.
And still knocking on the door of Europe, Wolves.
Yeah, they'll finish above both Arsenal and Spurs, I can imagine. I can see it.
It's looking like it. The only thing that will stop them is the lack of squad depth after European nights. They haven't had a European night for a while.
No, and I've got a feeling they might go further than Arsenal and Spurs in the Europa League.
Well, Spurs aren't in the Europa League, mate. We're in the one up.
Well, I kind of probably wish you were, to be honest. I think it will be next year. But,
no, I'm not sure we will be. No, genuinely.
No, I don't think Arsenal or Spurs will be, and I think we'll be both benefit from it massively that we aren't.
I'm looking at the teams that are finishing in and around that top 4, the teams that are looking like winning the cups. I'm not sure it's going to be the top 7 who get European football this year.
No, agreed.
It's going to be very interesting. Wolves, I think, are definitely in with a shout. Spurs and Arsenal are still in it, absolutely. So as a Man United, as a Sheffield United, we're in 5th.
Yeah, which is crazy.
6th, sorry, which is just mad.
Crazy.
Absolutely mad. West Ham, Everton, 2 teams that I don't think will get European football.
No.
Everton, although they are on the same amount of points as Arsenal.
Yeah, it's just
joke.
ridiculous, isn't it? The entire league is a joke this year. Liverpool, it's just embarrassing how far Liverpool are ahead and so much more consistent than everyone else. It's unbelievable. Everyone else is absolutely rubbish.
West Ham equal on points with Watford, a place above.
Crazy, isn't it?
They're 2 places above the relegation zone, just on goal difference.
God, in like 2 months, Watford were dead and buried.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, isn't it?
It is mad.
Wow.
But this is a weird one because I don't think either team would be happy with a point. I think both teams needed more than a point.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
But at the same time, both where these clubs are at, they are so even that a draw is probably the most predictable result.
And is Dominic Calvert-Lewin deserving of an England call-up at the moment with our massive striker crisis?
Honestly, I don't think he's good enough, all round.
The issue is he's scoring goals.
Yeah, I know, but I look at, and for me, it harks back to players like Andy Cole, barely getting any England caps.
No, great.
He scored so many goals.
Yeah.
But he never got any England caps. I don't know why, because he didn't fit in with the system because of his riff with Teddy Sheringham. I don't know what it was, but he didn't get many England caps. And you look elsewhere, even someone like Chris Sutton will have scored more Premier League goals than Dominic Salford.
Yeah, Dion
I know he
Dublin's
shot himself in the foot. Dion Dublin, yes, got loads of goals. I don't think Calvert-Lewin suits England's system. I don't think he's good enough to play in England's system.
Oh no, I get that, but you look at the moment, Rashford's obviously out for a while now, Kane's out for a while, Calvin Wilson isn't scoring goals.
Callum Wilson.
Callum Wilson, that's the one. Calvin, his brother's
No, Danny Ings, Tammy Abraham. I'd take those two.
And then that's it. Then who gets that third space? Vardy's not going to come back to sit on the bench.
Well, then maybe Calvert-Lewin will go, but it's just, I'm looking at Calvert-Lewin right now and I'm just thinking, good lord, like seriously.
Well, I'm really pleased for him.
He can only play, he can't play up
season.
front by himself, which is how England play.
I just look at him for him. Fair play to him. He's had actually a very good season where we've absolutely slated him from the start.
Yeah, I know.
And since Ancelotti's come in, he's actually been very good.
He has been
good. And he keeps scoring,
yes.
which you've got to do.
I still don't think he's England.
No, he's not in a million years. But at the moment, if he scores for another sort of 3-4 weeks, he's going to be in that squad. 100%.
Rather take Ollie Watkins from Brentford. No, I'm joking. Yeah, Calvert-Lewin, mate. Only if Kane and Rashford don't go, but I think they'll both be fit. Rashford's unlikely. Kane always comes back.
Rashford's the one you look at and go, ooh, but I think we have enough quality out wide.
There's been a bit of and ahhing about how fit or how long he's going to be out for, but it could be a while. Yeah. Kane was due back in April. Normally comes back before his due date.
I wouldn't rush it.
But I wouldn't rush it either because it's especially on hamstrings. But I think he'll be fine by the Euros.
I think give him 3 or 4 games towards the back end of the season, get him kind of match fit,
and then he's good to go.
Slap bang onto it, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't see a spot for Calvert-Lewin, but crazy things have happened. On to the 5:30 game, Newcastle with a last-minute winner against Chelsea. Chelsea, who'd been so poor at the bridge but better on the road, all of a sudden, what's happening? Every time they wobble, Spurs and Arsenal and the teams around the world
you said this before the last episode. You were like, if Chelsea lose, Arsenal and Spurs will probably draw, wouldn't they? It just happened, didn't it?
It did.
Well, it's just like, for God's sake, really? And I did see bits and pieces of the game. They absolutely battered Newcastle, probably should have won. And fair play to Isaac Hayden. Good boy.
Arsenal man.
Big Arsenal man.
Like he said, incredible to get a last minute winner in front of the Gallagher end as well.
Well, yeah, headed it straight to the keeper, still went in. Great.
Exactly.
That's good.
That's all you need. That's all they needed. Have you seen the Alan Shearer reaction video? Oh, it's brilliant. Lineker, he does such a dad dance. Such a dad dance. It's fantastic. He can't control himself. Proper football fan.
I am pleased with Bruce. There's another cracking result with barely any players.
Yeah.
They're just ahead of it, aren't they? And they're not going to go down. I think they've got enough.
Yeah.
Really do.
Although I did hear that somebody's been comparing Joelinton to Ali Dia.
He did
As in, he tricked someone into becoming a Premier League player.
He did it at the bar though, didn't he?
Yeah, he did with the header.
Yeah.
Yes, he looks cumbersome, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
It's very slow. But Newcastle are going to be absolutely fine this season.
I love Newcastle. They have sort of 3 or 4 games where you think, oh, that's great. And then they have 2 or 3 go,
bad. Yeah, they are terrible.
It's great. I love it. And fair play to Bruce.
I don't think they ever played particularly well. They just get some results, but then their performances are just poor.
Oh, yeah, they're awful on Saturday night, but fair play to them.
Through the ground.
Result that mattered.
On to Sunday. Upset early doors. Burnley beating Leicester 2-1 at Turf Moor. Burnley have been absolutely shocking recently, but this is the type of performance that's, I think, it's put them 5 points clear of relegation. It's something like that. And now all of a sudden there's enough of a buffer for a Sean Dyche side to hold on to.
Yeah, there's enough experience there to think they're just going to get over the line. And yeah, disappointing from Leicester, 1-0 up as well.
Yeah.
Good Harvey Barnes goal. They just falling apart a little bit at the moment, aren't they?
They've lost so much since Ndidi's gone.
Yeah, 100%. And it's a shame, but they're going to finish in the top 4.
No, they will do.
Better than everyone else.
There's too much of a gap already. Yeah. That's the thing. There's too much of a gap already to be closed. Man United won't
Chelsea
close
faltering.
Yeah.
They're not going to get caught.
They'll hang on, but the earlier they can get Wilfred Ndidi back, the better, because he is so important to them this season. Yeah. And it's only been shown, really, just how good he is by the fact that they've wobbled since he's gone.
Yeah, I don't know who's playing his position, but I can't imagine.
Chowdhury, I think most of the
time.
I
like Chowdhury, but he's not
Ndidi.
Nowhere near the level of Ndidi or what Ndidi does.
Ndidi, if I was Manchester City and they're thinking about replacing Fernandinho, it's Wilfred Ndidi.
I think he could go to City, Spurs, Arsenal. Probably go and sit in the Liverpool midfield, but they've obviously got Fabinho.
I think Man City are looking for that Fernandinho.
United would be great for United.
They're looking for that Fernandinho replacement. I look at Ndidi and I think that's the closest thing.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of interest in the summer for a couple of those Leicester players. I think Chilwell might look at it and go, do you know what, Maddison's obviously going to be touted.
Man United want Maddison, Chelsea want Chilwell. Ndidi's the only one who hasn't really had any interest, and maybe Tielemans as well.
Turkish lad at the back who's just gone off the ball big time. Soyuncu's been terrible.
They should sign Tarkowski from Burnley.
Yeah, they'll go and get someone who's decent again, and they'll be fine. But fair play to What's his face? I can't remember his name. God, it's been a long
Brendan
day.
Rodgers.
That's the one.
That's the one.
Yeah, they've had a
well.
cracking season. They'll continue to get enough points to get away with it. So
But that was the result that Burnley needed, and Sean Dyche can look at and go, right, there's something there's a platform, now we build on it and we keep ourselves above the parapet.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. They'll probably lose 5 on the trot in a minute, but yeah, never mind.
On to the biggest game of the weekend, Liverpool-Man United. Liverpool breezing to a 2-0 win, also having 2 goals disallowed by VAR, the first of which, I don't care. The rules of the game are, if a goalkeeper is in control of the ball, with 2 hands on the ball, and they're impeded, it's a foul. He wasn't in control of the ball. He obviously wasn't in control of the ball because he dropped it. He never really had 2 hands on the ball, De Gea. Van Dijk was looking at the ball, he jumped, his arms weren't involved, there was a little bit of contact, there was nothing wrong with that. De Gea needs to stop whinging, he needs to bulk up a bit and learn that you have to catch under pressure sometimes. I look at that and there was absolutely no reason for him to drop that ball under that much pressure, especially when you look at the other sport, rugby, the collisions they go through to catch the ball when the fullbacks run at each other after a high kick and chase. Watch that and then go, probably should have caught that.
Yeah, 100%. De Gea's he's been really poor recently, hasn't he? He's gone, as you mentioned earlier, he's going back to the kind of the stage when he first came to Premier League where he's just falling over.
Yeah.
And he's just not commanding his box, trying to go down at every single point he can do, making mistakes. Would you cash in? I probably would.
Well, we did see the reason for De Gea as well. Firstly, a great save from Mane with his feet, and then possibly the save of the season. What will probably be the save of the season? One of the best saves I've ever seen in the Premier League, when Jordan Henderson drove it from about 18 yards with his left foot and he managed to tip it onto the post. That was an incredible save from David De Gea. However, it's under the high ball that he struggled when he first came to the Premier League. He'd sort of eradicated it, but he's struggling again, and I don't know why. He's just lost it. And the way he spoke to the referee as well afterwards, it was a man who was embarrassed, but he squared up to the ref. He got a yellow. Maybe have slightly been lucky because the way he was pointing and getting in the ref's face, it looked like he was going to go head to head with the ref.
Yeah, and obviously when you're keep flapping around and moaning at the ref, it doesn't kind of exude confidence to that back forward in the way she performed, does it? And yeah, it's oh God, United are awful.
Well, actually, United played okay. They got on the ball. They gave as good as they got in terms of use of the ball. It was relatively even with Liverpool. However, the big difference was Liverpool always looked like scoring. They always looked threatening. They always looked potent. Whereas Man United just looked like they had no ideas going forward. And yes, Anthony Martial had a great chance when he went through. But again, that composure from the one player who's meant to have that composure just snapped at it and just skied it when he should have scored. Pretty much summed up Man United's performance because that was the only real chance they had. Nothing else even looked like getting through.
Yeah, there's a lot of work to do that squad, isn't there? And you firstly look at the manager and go, is he the right man to take us forward? I personally don't think he is.
I don't think they want to keep sacking managers.
No, and I think they're going to try and prove a point and keep him in charge for at least a year or so, aren't they? And I don't think it's going to work. I don't think he's good enough. I really don't. And there's a lot that needs to be done with that squad. There's a lot of rubbish in there.
Interesting call to play Luke Shaw at left back and Brandon Williams on the left wing.
Yeah, I think that's just invited pressure, didn't it, really? It's like 2 left backs on top of one another.
As for Liverpool, it was great. They were very good again. I mean, it wasn't a classic Liverpool performance by any means, don't get me wrong, but yet again, they did enough to get the win.
Every single week is so frustrating.
And I'm not buying into this idea that Alisson's pass was this world-class, brilliant thing. I mean, Salah was standing on the halfway line. Every Man United player was 20 yards further up the pitch than him. So all he had to do was drop it in front of Salah. Yes, he put a little bit of backspin on it, but it wasn't exactly like it was the hardest pass in the world. He could have put that anywhere along the pitch and Salah would have got to it.
I don't
Daniel
think it was
James
that.
would have better chased
It was
back.
Daniel James. In fact, he looked like a 5-year-old trying to tackle a 15-year-old bloke. It's just like, you're not going to get this off of me. You can try, but I'm going to keep it away from him. I'm going to score. It's just embarrassing. I was like, God.
Yeah, it showed Salah's stronger than he looks.
Oh, God, yeah. And Daniel James is a child. Yeah, exactly.
Daniel James isn't very good.
No, he's
Everything
awful.
falls down with Daniel James at the moment. He runs in straight lines. He's one of those players that's just quick. That's it. That's what he's good at. He's good at being quick. Start of the season, he scored some great goals, but beyond that, he's just quick.
Yeah, he's got no real technique. He's not great. He just runs quick.
That's a shame for Man United that that's the player they bought. He is young, so there is.
You can mould him. You can coach him into being a better player, but
he reminds me a little bit of Aaron Lennon, and I don't think he'll ever be a top player.
No, agreed. I think they're just in such a bad position. He looks like a good player at the moment.
Yeah. That was Pub Football with Miles and Jimmy. Look out for our Bournemouth special. Oh, actually, just before we finish, Liverpool are now 16 points clear. They have a game in hand. They have 16 games left to play. So for Liverpool not to win the league, they would have to drop 16 points in 16 games to Manchester City, and that's not going to happen.
Wouldn't it be great if it did?
It would be the capitulation to win all capitulations.
As long as Liverpool don't go unbeaten, I'm a happy man. I've got a feeling they might do
might,
this
mate. Anyway, that was Pub Football. Look out for our Bournemouth special. We'll be going up on Wednesday night. I'm Miles, this is Jimmy. There's one thing left to say. Cheers.
Cheers.